Well, it's about time I let you guys in on a little secret. I started a 3D print farm. Some of you remember last year when Dino Kuros came out to the shop to visit. He has his own 3D print farm. If you remember, Dino was the one who got me all set up with this face frame clamping table. He 3D prints a lot of parts, has tons of inventions, and I kind of got the bug. After that, I felt inspired to purchase my first 3D printer. I bought one of these Bamboo Labs P1S printers with an AMS 4-spool holder up here. It was a lot of fun. Just started printing out stuff for my kids, doing little random stuff like that. But then I kind of just got deeper into the rabbit hole. Earlier this year, I also created a YouTube video about how I build my miter saw wings and finally made those plans available digitally for anyone that wanted to build those wings. If you're familiar at all, a big part of my system with my miter saw is an offset stop block. It's a stop block that has two different pieces that rotate, and that allows you to cut mitered casing amongst other things, while cutting to your inside measurement and then offsetting the lower portion of the block double the width of your material, so you can batch cut and cut really productively that way. The problem I had was I can make this block, and I've had this in production for several years, and it's not that big a deal for me to do it. But as I was selling these digital plans and knowing that other guys were gonna have to build this, it's a pain to build. It's a lot of different router operations to get everything to work together. You have to buy this piece from a third party. It's fairly expensive and all of that stuff. And I thought, I wonder if I could just design this thing and 3D print it. So I started designing the stop block, started prototyping and prototyping and prototyping. And this box is a bunch of my failures. What you're seeing here is failure after failure after failure after failure, and tweak after tweak after tweak after tweak, trying to refine the design on this stop block. The good news is, after countless iterations, I feel like I've really perfected what I'm calling the miter block. It works extremely well. It's got a great fit and finish. I built all of the different functionality that I have on my initial stop block into this 3D printed unit. You can see that it's got a dovetail design here. It works great. It's got the tape measure built into the design, and it is extremely accurate. It allows different adjustability up here so that you can calibrate this to your miter saw wings very quickly and easily. It's even got steel mending plates on the bottom, so that if you want to mount this and nest it in your custom wings like I do, you can stick it right to magnets and it'll hold in place. And of course, it's got the fine crosshair there for accurately lining it up with your tape measure. I'm super proud of this. I knew that what I had here wasn't gonna change the world or anything like that, but I knew it could be a game changer for those of us in the finished carpentry niche. And for me to be able to make these at scale, I was gonna need more than just one printer. So it's just the way I am. My personality is I'm all out or I'm all in. And unfortunately, one thing led to another. I went from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. And then to 5, 6, 7, and 8. So right now we're sitting at 8 3D printers. They have completely taken over the kitchen and break room area in my shop. The number one question I get asked whenever I show this setup on Instagram is, what printer are you using? Well, I started off going with my friend Dino's suggestion. I started out with the Bamboo Labs P1S. It's a fantastic 3D printer. I mean, it'll get you printing right out of the box. And then an essential add-on is an AMS up here. And what that allows you to do is print with 4 different spools, which can be essentially 4 different colors. And you can actually even string together multiple AMS units if you want to have even more colors spooled up than that. but for my purposes, having this 4-spool AMS on each unit has been absolutely essential. Now, after starting off with a handful of these P1Ss, oopsie, I got a couple of X1C or X1 carbons over here as well. Now the X1 carbon is the next step up above the P1S. It's a little bit more refined. It's got better technology in it. It's got a better touch screen, and it can handle some more heavy duty filaments that the P1S doesn't handle quite as well. If you got to have one machine, I would definitely recommend the X1 carbon. It's great, but it's not essential. You'll also notice down here on the P1S, it's got a standard AMS. While I was in the process of purchasing these printers, they also came out with a new AMS. They call it the AMS2. It's got some other unique features with it. One of them being that it's got a built-in heater in the unit that will dry out your filament. Keeping your filament dry is one of the most important things for keeping good print quality. You don't want to let your filament absorb a lot of humidity. So having the heater and dryer built into that AMS tool is really cool, but it is more expensive. So you may be wondering, why have so many of the printers? Are you really printing that much product? Well, it's kind of a bummer, but 3D printing does take a fairly significant amount of time to crank out products, especially products of the size and detail that I'm making. So if you want to be able to really crank out some products at scale, you got to have quite a few printers. Now, another key part of 3D printing is your filaments. You've got to have a fair amount of filament as well as storage areas to put your finished prints. Over here, I had to put in another rack in my shop bathroom for filament. It's actually working pretty good. And then that is actually a food dehydrator for drying out filaments in case I feel like they get a little bit of humidity. Sometimes whenever you have filaments that you take out and are sitting around for a while, like these, you can throw them in that dehydrator and it'll suck the moisture out of them and they'll be good to go again. But it does take quite a bit of money to get going with this. These are about 15 bucks a box. So you can see there's quite a bit of coin there. And I would say there's at least 10 grand that I've got sitting out here in these 3D printers. Let's talk about the learning curve a little bit. How difficult is it to use these 3D printers? Well, it's phenomenal, the technology that is built into these things. Once you see one of them work, it's fascinating. Me and my kids, sometimes we just sit here and watch it work because it's so amazing to watch. They can be temperamental though. You have to be prepared that sometimes things are going to go wrong. You're going to have issues with print quality. Your print might not stick to the bed. Your nozzle might get clogged. Your feed tube might get clogged, and that can be really annoying, and you just have to figure it out. So that's a little bit of a bummer. This day and age with AI and ChatGPT, it's pretty cool. When you have a problem, just plug your problem into ChatGPT, ask it. You can find the solution pretty easily, but you are going to have to be able to be pretty hands-on in fixing stuff when it goes wrong. You're also going to have to be prepared to learn quite a bit. There's a lot of nuance to these different filaments, to the different tips, to the way it works. I've even had issues with the firmware updates, jacking stuff up to where I've had to go back to old firmware versions just to get things working again. So be prepared for that if you want to go down this route. The other learning curve is with the software itself. There are a gazillion different print settings that you can tweak to modify your 3D prints. You can change the infill density to make them stronger, which will make it print slower, or you can decrease it to make it print faster. You can increase the loops. You can do all kinds of stuff with your print settings. And also in those settings, sometimes that can really screw up your prints too if you do something wrong. So there's a learning curve there. Now, what about actually designing stuff? Do I need to know how to use Fusion to make anything? Well, there's a couple ways you can go about it. First off, there are 3D print online warehouses where people just upload models that they make so that everybody can use them. So for example, this is a Stabila level holder that you can mount, and it's open source. You can download it and you can print it very easily. These were the same way. So you can print if you don't know how to design stuff. But if you do know how to design stuff, it takes it to a whole other level. Personally, I'm proficient in SketchUp, which is not great for designing 3D prints, but it works. So I can design things, export them as a STL file, and then I can print them directly. I can also download different models that somebody else made, and I can modify them myself in SketchUp if I want to make it different and then print those. For example, this track saw holder I printed off of a 3D warehouse, but it wasn't quite what I wanted. I wanted something for the roof of my van. So I basically took this and I modified it, made it thicker and beefier, and added some more screw holes, beefed up the back so it wouldn't break off, and then it fit my needs a little bit better. So if you've got design skills with SketchUp or Fusion, it'll make 3D printing much more versatile. At the end of the day, what 3D printing is allowing us to do is essentially have our own manufacturing facility at our fingertips in our own home or in our shop, to where we can make our own stuff custom to what we want in a way that's really never been possible before. So what all am I making? Well, right now I'm selling the Insider Carpentry miter block. This is made up of 4 different 3D printed pieces. Selling quite a few of those that will, and this will work with either my custom miter saw wings. So if you download those plans and build it, this will work with that. And we've also designed a version that switches out this block on the back so that it will work with the Fast Cap Best Fence wings as well. So you can use my miter block with either custom wings or the Fast Cap Best Fence. Next, I'll take you from the kitchen break room where all my 3D printers are at up to the loft, and that is where we're assembling things and packaging the 3D prints to ship out. What you're seeing behind me here is our assembly and packaging area. This is just kind of a makeshift deal. We are far from like a really hardcore 3D printing business. But I bought these earlier in the summer, so my oldest was on summer break, and I wanted this to be something that he could work on over summer break as well, and kind of see how the entrepreneurial process works, from creating to producing to assembling to shipping. So that was a benefit of this as well. So you'll see we've got some plastic totes with our finished components that have been 3D printed off. Some of these he'll take and add bolts and knobs to them. Down here we've got our parts for our cut list holder. So this would get attached to different guide pieces right here, depending on which style you're using. This is the piece that the crosshair goes in, and then the different pieces top and bottom of the miter blocks. Takes a lot of different bits and pieces to assemble these things together. And then as you can see, we got screwdriver and drill and stuff like that for putting things together. Back here, I do all the boxing. I also have started to sell these track saw guide holders. I've got those in the roof of my van, and it was another one of those products that was so good. I thought I need to try to sell these because I know a lot of guys have the same problem that I do. Here we've got some Stabila level holders that I designed myself that work extremely well. They're very simple. But yeah, we box stuff up here, tape it up, put shipping labels on it, and send it off. I'm not really sure where this 3D printing thing will lead. I'm a big believer in trying new things. And you know, I made this stop block and I thought it was good enough that I wanted it to be available to you guys. so that I could, you know, reduce your time that you would have to spend reinventing the wheel. I also love being entrepreneurial, and I get easily distracted with that. So that's kind of a bad thing, is this does take time. It's just another one of those things that's kind of always lingering on the forefront of my mind. You know, do I need to switch out the 3D prints? Do I need to ship out packages? Do I need to do something on my Shopify store? It's just another thing on my plate. I don't love that, but I am having fun doing this. I do have other products in mind that I want to create and sell. We'll see how that goes. But it's also just fun knowing that when I do have an idea, if I want to market it and sell it, I've got the infrastructure set up with the printers and the Shopify store that I can do that. Aside from that, I'm also making a ton of my own stuff. You'll see right here on my Festool Sortainer, I even 3D printed labels for this thing. It's really easy in Bamboo Studio. I essentially just created a template of this card, and then I can just put text over that and print custom labels that slide right in to the drawers there. So that just looks super professional, very organized as well. You'll also notice that all of these bins are 3D printed as well. So really simple stuff, but I printed off bins for 3 different 3-drawer Sortainers. And the cool thing is, I downloaded these models off of the 3D warehouse, but then in SketchUp, I can easily just select the geometry on one side and pull it or push it to make the bins exactly the size that I want. So in this case, nobody had a bin modeled that was this long, but I just took one size and I just stretched it out to make it exactly what I needed so that I could hold these long tools with it. So that's been really fun as well. Same thing over here with these DeWalt Tough System drawer units. For whatever reason, DeWalt does not sell bins for these. So I 3D printed all of these bins out. And again, I've got 3 different vans now. So I did this for 3 different vehicles, but it works really well. And down here in this box, you'll see these are my different sizes for these DeWalt Tough System drawer units. So when I need to switch things around, I just come in here and grab whatever size I need. And it's really relatively cheap to print these off. Coming out here to the vans, I used to have toggle clamps on the roof of the van for my Festool tracks, but being that I could print these off, it's a game changer for popping these tracks on and off of the ceiling. And I do have these available for sale on my Shopify store, both for the regular FS tracks and the FSK tracks for the Festool HKC. This is another cool product I'm selling as well. These are Stabila level holders, and I kind of invented these out of wood, and I made it out of wood initially on the old versions of my van, but decided just to 3D print off a version now. And what it does is it allows you to store 2 different levels on one of these brackets. You can see how it's notched like that, and it just falls down and holds everything in place. And you can screw it or bolt it to your side shelves anywhere you want. And then here again, you see some more of my labels. And I actually color coded the labels according to which van the stack of tools goes on. So you'll see here, like my drill kit is black and orange, stair kit black and orange. And then if we come over here to my van, you'll notice that the color switches to black and green. And then if we'd pull this out, it would be black and green as well. And here's another one of those kits with a bunch of the 3D printed drawer bins. Here we got pocket door hardware, and here we got a bunch of drywall anchors. And you'll notice the brackets up here, those tracks are on site right now. Here's another cool one. This one is for my drill kit. My drills are in a sustainer drawer combo unit, but I put 1/4-inch holes for my drill bits here so I can keep a ton of drill bits in that drawer. all kinds of stuff. So I don't really know what the future is going to hold exactly for this whole 3D printing thing. I'm kind of having fun messing around with it right now. It is taking a little bit of time and mental space for me that I don't love, but I am really happy also to be able to offer you guys custom products designed for the specialty finish carpenter that you can't get anywhere else. So I'll probably keep doing it. I'm excited to see what the future holds. If you want to buy any of this stuff, simply go to insidercarpentry.com. That'll take you to my store, and you can find these products there, and be sure to check in once in a while because I'm sure I'll be adding more in the future. So it was fun giving you guys this update. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what questions you've got. I'll try to answer them in the comments below. Otherwise, be sure to like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.